Okay, hello, welcome to our Study Hacks webinar. My name is Dr. Jill Byrne and my colleague here is Dr. Chris Ireland. Today, the theme of the session is exploration. The whole focus of our session today is upskilling your assignment planning and your research skills. So the aim of this session is to explore mind mapping strategies for assignment planning, which hopefully will give you an introduction to more creative ways of thinking around the assignment tasks you have, your essay questions, your report questions, whatever that may be. I'm going to deliver that first part, and then I'm going to hand over to my colleague Chris, and he's going to explore search strategies, particularly looking at internet search strategies.
What I'm going to talk about are doing your online searches to do the reading that Jill's spoken about. And the three areas that probably you might be familiar with: your university library, Google Scholar. I'd say probably this is where most of the research goes on. So first of all, your university library, that's everything that your university has paid for. And that also includes non-academic sources, important non-academic sources, like newspaper articles. It could be marketing reports, company reports. So there's all of that on top of all of the academic stuff. Then there's Google. So Google is anything you're likely to find on the web, and that includes a lot of material that might not be valid for academic research. So one thing that you can do is use some what they call operators to limit your research to make it more valid academically. So the two that I want to focus on here are Cite, where you could put, for example, ac.uk, and that would limit your search to UK academic sources. And then if you also put file type PDF, that means you won't get lots of PowerPoint. So you're less likely to get lots of lectures. You're more likely to get academic articles. So I'll just show you what that might look like. So I've got a search here for neonicotinoids, bee population, and we've got over 300,000 results. So if I then put before that cite:/ac.uk and do my search, that reduces the results to 6,390. And as I said, we probably don't want PowerPoint presentations. We want to focus on PDFs. So if I type file type and write PDF, that halves my results even further. Still far too many results, but now I'm going to go back to the presentation, and we'll see how we can reduce our results even further. Okay, so I've done a sample search, and we'll now move on to where I think you should be doing most of your searching, and that's in Google Scholar, because most of the electronic academic stuff that you're going to find from your library and from Google, you will be able to find in Google Scholar. So it's only academic. So that, as I said before, your university library has a lot of non-academic stuff that you're going to find really useful. But as far as academic stuff, Google Scholar is a really good place to start. So it includes sources that your university has not paid for. And that will be for two reasons. One, there's lots of free resources in Google Scholar. So PhDs in university repositories, and other papers that might not have been published in journal articles, or there may be free journals that maybe your university library hasn't incorporated. There will also be stuff that they will ask for money. So you might click on a really good article and it says that you have to pay £30. You don't pay. What you do is you speak to your university library about doing what's called an interlibrary loan. So that's where you could get an article possibly from anywhere in the world, and it should either be free or very, very cheap. It shouldn't cost a lot of money. A lot of universities it's free. So what I want to do now is do some a closer look at Google Scholar. And the first thing I want to do, you may have this already, but some of you may not, is incorporating links to your library. So when you're in Google Scholar, if you click on the 3 lines, then you will get this menu. Now, ignore My Library. That's nothing to do with where you want to go. You want to go down to Settings and click on Settings. And then when you're in there, you want to click on Library Links. And then you will get this search window here. And you need to type the name of your university. So in the case I'm using here was the university I was working with before was Bristol. So I type Bristol, and then you click where it says University of Bristol after you've done your search, and a tick will appear. You will click on Save, and then that means that you will see any academic source that your university has available electronically. Now then, if you hadn't done that, your search page that you get there for declining bee population would look like that. Once you set it up with, in this case, it's Bristol University Library, it will have links there. You can see every source on that page has links to Bristol University Library. So had you not done that, you would only be able to access 2 of them, these 2 here. The other 2 you would have difficulty accessing, or they would ask for money. So that's why it's important to set it up with your university library. Here we have search operators that I want to now talk to you about how you're going to use those in your Google searches. It's really important that you do your Google searches using these. So the first one is the minus sign. That means that you exclude any term that you put it before, that it precedes. Then the second one that we've got here is the shorthand for or. So that returns a result for either one or other of the terms. And then I'll show you that in a moment. Then the next one is the 2 sets of inverted commas. That returns the exact phrase that you put between those quotation marks. And then the final one that I want to show you is the wild card. So the wild card represents any word. So I'll just come out of there and we'll go into Google Scholar. So let's have a look. The first one that I'm just going to put in bee populations. There we are. And we've got way too many results. We've got 464,000. Now, by simply putting inverted commas around bee populations, there. So I've treated that. It's only searching for bee populations now, whereas before it was searching for any article that had the word bee and the word populations. So this is now looking for bee populations. So it's still far too many. We could start using the date down the side, but because we know we're talking about declining, I'm going to write the word declining. So declining bee populations. And that gets us down to 319. So we're getting lower and lower. So what I'm trying to do, I am trying to get my search results down to they're on one page and that I don't have to scroll, because very few of us go onto another page. And scrolling is just, I find it annoying if I have to keep scrolling up and down the page. So just a very few results is what I'm after. So the next search I'm going to do is I'm imagining the kind of things it might say in articles that I want to read. So I'm going to say bee populations are declining. 152. Bee populations are declining because 6. I don't actually mind scrolling too much with just 6. So I'm looking through and I can see that it's highlighting on a lot of these. It's highlighting, so I can see what it's saying. I've got some links here. Notice actually none of them are available through Bristol University Library, but I do have quite a few links there that will take me to free resources anyway. Now, that's quite certain bee populations are declining. So the thing that I want to do next is introduce the wild card that I spoke about. So if I put a wild card in there, they're exactly the same. Let's introduce another wild card. Nothing. So Ahmed et al. 2003 suggests that bee populations in Nepal are declining because of diminished floral resources available. So I could go through Bristol. It's actually available on ResearchGate. So I'm going to have a look in there. And I'm just going to do a quick search for that phrase. So that was bee populations. There, we've got it here. Ahmed et al. I'll make that a little bit bigger for you. Suggests that bee populations in Nepal are declining because of diminished floral resources availability caused by clearing of agriculture and pest and disease pressures. And they told us another place to look as well. So what I might do, I might grab that, copy it into my notes that I'm taking. I'll put quotation marks around it so that I avoid the possibility of accidental plagiarism. I'm noticing it's on page 4, and I'm going to go back and I'm going to also take a reference for it. And I'll copy that and put it with those notes. And then I'll move on and I will maybe do some more wildcard searches. So these searches are with 4 words in the middle. So I've got bee populations and I've got declining because, and I've got 4 wildcards in the middle. So here, bee populations, including native bees, are declining because. And again, I could do the same thing. I'll click on there, do a quick search. Again, we just got the one. Bee populations, including native bees, are declining because of habitat. So again, I might grab that paragraph and save it to my notes inside inverted commas. So I get a habit of how I'm note-taking. At the moment, I'm not doing anything with it. I'm just collecting information around those ideas. So I could keep going. I've gone on before, and later on I might go on for on another search for up to 10 wildcards. But I'm going to pause that one now, and I am now going to change to declining bee populations. And I imagine, let's say, for example, I'm not interested in results that have got honey in them. I want to focus on these chemicals and the fact that the populations are falling. And I'm maybe getting lots of results with honey. So let's have a look and just see what we're getting at the moment with declining bee populations. So 319. So minus honey, 96. So anything with honey in it has now been eliminated from my search. And again, I could possibly say, well, I'm only interested in the last couple of years. 10 results. So you play around with these different parameters to get the results that you need. But the one that I want to put in this time is this chemical, neonicotinoids. So we've got 155 results. Now, what I would quite like is to find sentences that have got both declining bee populations and neonicotinoids in them. And I'm not going to be worried about not finding any results. I'll persist, because I really think that there's going to be something to find. All there. Right. So we found, after 3 wildcards, so we don't know what the words are in the middle. We really want these sentences that have got declining bee populations, some words, we don't know what those words are, and neonicotinoids. So we found one. So again, I can go and click in there, and we can see neonicotinoids is in the title. So I might do a search for bee population again, and there it is. I've got bee pop, and it's come up with declining bee populations have led to neonicotinoids coming under increasing scrutiny. So it might be that I think, that's not so interesting. If it's not so interesting, don't read any further. Ignore it and move on. Don't try and read any more and search for some more. So again, I'm not getting any results there. I'll keep looking. 2 results, and it's got the links, here underneath the short piece. I can read what it says and see if I think it looks interesting. Right, so now there's no link here, but it looks really interesting. So I'm just going to see if I can read it anyway. So it's in Scholar, it doesn't look academic, but it's talking about we need a plan, not just ban. Now, who are these? Who are the Royal Society of Biology? Do I trust them? So I might need to investigate that, but I'll still have a look and see if I can find. So with intensification of agriculture and a reduction in natural habitat impacted in declining bee populations, a predominant public focus on neonicotinoids also risks distracting us from other important factors. Oh, there are other important factors. Right. Well, I'll grab that, but I think I might want to find it somewhere more academic. So I copy it, go back, note down the full reference of where I found it, and carry on. So I'm still going to carry on looking. I'm not getting bored. I'm hoping to find a few more sources that might be useful. I think there might be one more. Oh, there's 2 there. Okay. So again, I might go into that and do the same process. Now, The next thing I do when I've got a search like this with two terms like this is I swap them around. So I put neonicotinoids first and declining bee populations afterwards. And now I'm going to do searches and I'm going to reduce the wildcards. And I'm going to see if I find anything interesting. There. Sacrificing bees on the altar of profit. A criminological critique of neonicotinoid use in New Zealand. So we can access that through ResearchGate. There might be something interesting in there. We don't know. So I've got to move on. And I'm going to go all the way down to know. There we are. We've got two there. I can look inside them and see if I like the information that they're providing in there. I haven't found many, but what I found is probably very useful. And I always go right the way down to the minimum. So again, we've got a couple of links there. I've done no scrolling. I've not had to go on any second page. Sometimes when you do this, you'll have no results at all. If you get no results at all, you delete a word. So here I would delete declining. And then again, that's too many for me, but maybe I'll limit it by the years. There, 3 results since 2017 for that. The other thing I quickly want to show you is cited by. If you click on cited by, you will get publications that have happened since that item was published. This is 2019. So we've got cited by 10. Click on there. Search within the citing article. And then here I might put the word, I might put bees. There's 3 results that have got the word bees in them, or neonicotinoids, and so on. So those are only searching within that citing article, but you must tick there. So the only one that I haven't shown you is the or. So I've just prepared one there for you. So neonicotinoid or neonicotinoids. So if I was just to do one of them, so we've got 41,000 results there. If I was just to do one of them, we would only have half the number of results. So it's where you've got 2 terms that might be similar or for the same thing. You might want to put both of them in, and you would then have to refine that search. 41,000 or even 24,000, obviously way too many, but you'd refine it by putting in other terms and so on. Right, that's all I wanted to show you on the searching. So we're going to finish up now.